Hello, beautiful world, and thank you for tuning in on another episode of Verbally Loose. I'm your host, Lisa. This is my co-host, LA, and Tiffany, and we also have a guest host, Miss Ameenah. Today, we have an amazing show for you, for our ladies, of course, but something for the men as well. Later on in the show, we will have Lila Green, who's from the Hunks for Hope, which I said hunks, so we definitely have some eye candy later. And we also have Men's Style with Jamal C. Boyd. So let's get right into it. Miss Ameenah, tell us about your collection, which is Ameenah Designs. How did it start? How did you get inspired? But most of all, tell us about your brand.
How I got inspired was my mother is a retired seamstress, so she is my mentor and she was my inspiration. She worked in the Philadelphia factories all of the life that I can remember, and I was always around her and she was always sewing. She was my inspiration.
That's a beautiful thing because it was like right in the home. So you got that hands-on experience, you learned everything. Now your brand, Ameenah Designs, tell us, I know it is very modest, so just go into just a little bit about your collection because I love her pieces. And ladies, very, very classy and sophisticated. But how did the brand all start?
So I am a creative soul. I am an artist. And the brand of Ameenah Designs is a collection that mimics really the art industry. So I make one-of-a-kind and limited edition pieces for women. I make coats, capes, shawls, ponchos, and outerwear as well.
Nice.
So what are some of the fabrics that you're using? Because as we were talking earlier, you stated that you did make the skirt that you're wearing now,
Yes.
which is beautiful.
Thank you.
So I just wanted to know some of the fabric that you use. Do you stick with just one or do you use different varieties of one?
So Ameenah Designs, and because I'm the mind behind Ameenah Designs, I'm like a chef. And a chef picks the most important ingredients to make a dish, and so that's where it starts. And it's the same with fabric. I use fabrics from all over the world. I just recently did a trip to Los Angeles to the fabric district for my collection for the fall. So I start with the most elegant, the most exquisite fabrics, and then I go from there. My collection is very simplistic. But because the fabrics are luxurious, they're high quality, they're beautiful, the garments just have to be successfully beautiful.
Yes, I absolutely love your pieces. They just give such a wonderful modesty and image to what our women and ladies need to be looking like. I mean, appearance is everything. It's very important that your appearance is modest, is ladylike, is up to par. I mean, a lot of times, you know, women, as we were speaking earlier about the trends, like everyone just goes with the trends and it's just like sometimes you need to put your own stamp on your design, your style, everything. And I think that your design and your collection brings that. It brings that stamp of, this is Ameenah right here. I know this is Ameenah's pieces.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
I really do love your pieces.
And as we spoke earlier, fashion is nonverbal communication. It speaks for you before you even arrive, before you even open your mouth. And what you cover yourself with speaks to what you're thinking mentally and even spiritually. So fashion speaks volumes for who you are, whether you're conscious of it or not.
Do you believe that in different cultures as well? Because like in China, like Chinese people, they don't show their breasts or their legs. So do you feel like it also has something to do with your religion and how you were brought up?
I am Muslim, and I embarked in fashion design again in my life when I became a Muslim woman. And modesty starts inwardly. And I used my creative juices, if you will, to express my modesty outwardly. So while Ameenah Designs is not a modest line, most of my creations end up being modest because they start from within. However, it crosses platforms of different type of women. So Muslim women buy my clothing, non-Muslim women buy my clothing,
Wow.
professional women buy my clothing, as well as a little urban, because I do get a little spunky and a little spicy
Right.
sometimes in my pieces.
Yeah. So not to cut you off or anything, but you know, the women that's growing up now, they got the short dresses with the holes right here, and everything is just pretty much showing. Do you ever just pull somebody to the side and like, you know, you have a great body and I have a wonderful piece that I can, you know, put you in something that's more elegant? Because I think a lot of times it's being guided and they're not being guided right. So maybe if they were introduced to it, they might like it. So have you ever had one of that moments?
That's a good question, because I think a lot of the problem may be that we're not being called out on it. Women are not being called out on.
Right.
You know, lady, let me tell you, you know, you might need to fix this.
Because you'll definitely ask yourself, you'll be like, you know what?
Yeah.
I shouldn't have wore this dress.
Okay, so to answer your question, no, I don't do that. However, my approach is one of sharing my blessing.
Okay.
So I mentor young girls,
Oh, that's
particularly
great.
young teens. And as a matter of fact, I'm preparing for a day trip to New York in July, where I'm taking 3 13-year-old girls who are fashionistas, very interested in fashion. So I'm taking them to New York to expose them to fashion, to museums and fabric stores. But they'll also hang out in my studio for a day. So I believe in planting the seed very early versus snatching someone off the street and saying, you know,
sometimes
it's
you got
not right. Yes.
So the women today are showing lots of skin. We was brought up where we didn't have our cleavage out. We didn't, our jeans, our skirts, our shorts came close to our knees. Now it's like everything, and even kids, like we were talking about earlier.
Yes.
Shorts are very short. Shirts, there's really even no shirt, like there's barely no fabric being used on the clothes today.
Yes.
So that's really, you know, intriguing.
And we were raised where my aunt did sew all our clothes.
Right.
My aunt, you know, our 2 aunts, and we were
And our
raised in North
grandmother.
Carolina. And our grandmother, my grandmother, she was a model, and she did her own sewing. They did their own clothes. We rarely went to the stores. It was, you know, make your little print shorts and your shirt to match it. They sold a lot of our stuff. So
we grew up in a similar fashion because I grew up the same way.
Okay.
When I was about 13, my mom was a single mom of 3, but she was a factory sewer, and she also sewed on the side. Joan Hart, she's my heart, I love her. And so back then it was layaway.
Yes.
And she loved going to the theater. So when she knew there was a production coming, she would take us to the pattern store, to the fabric store. We would pick out our outfits, and she would make our outfits so that when we went to the Schubert, when we went to the Forest Street Theater, she would tell us, you will never see yourself walking down the street because you have a one-of-a-kind piece.
That's wow. Can't get no better than that.
Do you remember the first piece that you made? Like, do you still have it?
No and yes. No and yes. No, I don't have it, but yes, I do remember. It was after my first pregnancy, so about 28 years ago, I called my mom. I said, nothing fits. I need to make something.
Wow.
It looked like a pillowcase.
So when I know that it was genetic, that, you know, fashion was just in your genes and it came from your mother, but what made you go full force and say, look, I'm starting my own collection, I'm doing this, I'm taking it 100%?
That's a great question, and I'm glad you asked it. This is the story. Because my mother was a seamstress, she taught us how to tailor pants at a very young age, right?
Okay.
And all of my background as an artist is that I'm a creative soul. And I had the aha moment when someone offered to pay me to hem their pants. They didn't have a clue. They enticed me to make them a suit. I said, wow, they're willing to pay me for this. I think this is a business. And that's when Ameenah Design started.
Wow.
Nice.
So you have your own studio, which is based in New Jersey.
Yes.
And you also have a website as well where you can see some of the collections and pieces. Do you offer more of a like a design where it's just personally, or just one piece just for that person?
Absolutely.
That you can create as well.
We have Jamal C. Boyd, who is an upscale fashion stylist. So stay tuned.
Changing the professional look from wearing a straight tie to a bow tie gives the basic blue suit a totally different look. It'll be the same suit, but you can wear it multiple times and create a totally different look. So previously it was a straight tie, but now it's a bow tie with a different pocket square, different accessories, different cufflinks, and also a different shoe color and belt color.
Hey, what's up everyone? Thank you for tuning in. These are your ladies from Verbally Loose, Miss LA, Tiffany, and we have the opportunity to sit here at Professional Fridays with Mr. Fabulous Jamal Steve Boyd. Awesome man, I must say, when I tell you it's billionaire mode with this man, it's billionaire mode all the way. And not meaning, like he said, from a money standpoint, but a mindset standpoint. So I know just before we started, we were talking about how did you start Professional Fridays? When did you start getting your following?
Professional Fridays I started back in 2006 when Miss Tootsie's on South Street had just opened up. I had hosted one of the first events there with my birthday party, and then the owner and I got together and collaborated to host a Friday after work networking event for a group of professionals looking for somewhere to go, something to do, but at hours that were, fitting to their schedule. Wanted to get in, go have a drink, network, socialize, business card exchange, hear some good music, get some good food, and go home to your family.
And that's the best time, because, me being a mother and a wife, I don't always like to come out 9 o'clock at night.
Right.
Those are the perfect hours. Like, this is the perfect time to come out, like you said, get your drink, go back in the house, you can still see your family before everyone sleeps.
Right.
You're safe in the house, it's before dark, so I'm like, I love going out there. Like, these are the perfect hours to go out. What was some of the things that actually had you inspired to actually want to do the Professional Fridays? And I want to get into your fashion as well too, but I just want to know just your vision behind the Professional Fridays.
Well, fulfilling a need that was there in the city, I being in that same demographic, you have people who are professionals age 25 to 65 years of age with nowhere to go, and it wasn't, that you needed to be in a lounge, or that you needed to be in a bar or a club, but, you wanted to be in an atmosphere that was one, comfortable, two, that met that need, and then three, that again, fulfilled a whole different bag of things that you needed to fulfill before you went home. So you got a chance to catch up with friends from work or colleagues that you haven't seen in a while. You also got a chance to meet some new people that need to help you expand your network or build your business or whatever it is that you do professionally. So it kind of served multiple purposes all at one time. And when I created the event, I was doing it once a week, but then as my schedule had gotten busier, I started doing it once a month. And once a month made it better for me as a host, because it wasn't always pulling on my time and my schedule, and then I didn't want to always be competing with everybody to come out and support me on every Friday. So once a month is that one shot in the arm, that's great.
Rejuvenate yourself. I see you in 4 weeks.
Right, exactly. And those 4 weeks go by fast.
Yeah.
So
I understand that. So tell us about your fashion, Mr. Jamal here. I know I'm gonna get Leanne to get in a little bit, but Mr. Jamal here is like laced out. I must say, I just keep looking at
Fabulous.
I
know. I keep looking at
his embroidered shirt.
Yes. I'm looking like, this guy
popping.
is all that. Okay. I've never interviewed anybody who actually has their shoes on their show. Like, he I come to make a statement. So we're definitely here to get the statement.
And a part of what the concept behind what I'm doing with Boy Brand Apparel and the whole fashion piece is more or less image, which falls under the umbrella of the whole billionaire mode, not really focusing on the money, but the mindset. So if you change the way that you think about life and things in general, it should change the way that you act or interact with people. And then once you start changing your interactions, it becomes a world movement because you're touching other people. So that positive touch, that billionaire mode is what we want to infect people with. And then the clothing or style or fashion side of it is just a reflection of how you feel about yourself on the inside. Right. You want to dress that. So that's where the Boy Brand Apparel comes in because it's dressing that image, dressing that mindset, dressing that movement.
So was it more so like, okay, I want to bring fashion to Philadelphia? Was it more so like, oh my God, is he wearing that? Like he wearing it wrong. So is it like of what you were seeing, or more so for yourself? And like, all right, I want to bring what I feel.
And let me take one step back. I mean, there's a difference between fashion and style, in my opinion. Fashion deals more on the trendy side and trying to show you what's hot and what's popular right now, but it may not be popular or hot next summer or next season.
Right.
So in terms of my approach, is more from a style perspective, trying to educate people on that difference, but then two, more or less focusing on what your personal brand is, what your personal image is, what your personal style is. So when you ask the question about, no, it's not necessarily that he or she is wearing it wrong, but I create my own style and my own image, and hopefully through that interaction or, impression that I leave with somebody, they say, hey, can you show me how you put together the way, put that together the way that you do, because I like that. So I try to use myself as an example or model of what I hope to influence others to want to think of you. And it goes beyond dress. It's about, I'm a spiritual person, I'm a Christian, so, I can influence somebody through my spiritual interactions or perspective, and that's the same way that I do with my brand in terms of clothing and the style piece. So,
do you feel like street dress is more, like you said, with the fashion and the trendy, or is professionally dressed is also fashion and trendy too, or just professional dress is just professional dress, it's just in its own way?
One of the things that I do in my education and when I'm working with clients is men and women, it's all about 5 different looks.
Okay.
And it's professional, business casual, dressed down but not dressed out, fly, and formal. You have these 5 looks in your closet, male or female, you're always prepared for whatever situation.
A lot of times, young men feel like they don't have to be professional dress, or they shouldn't, invest the money into professional clothes. What message would you give to men the importance of why they should be professionally dressed?
Because suits can be comfortable.
Yeah, at least have a suit or something that encompasses it. Like I see a lot of our brothers it's just not there when it comes to that style. So why do you think it's important to be professional dressed and have that weird vibe?
Well, again, I think it's a preparation perspective. Be prepared for whatever, whether it's business, play, whatever you're doing, but particularly if you're in a professional realm and you're trying to attract more clients or grow what you're doing, you're only uncomfortable with what you don't do often. So if you don't do something often enough, of course, when you do it, it's going to feel uncomfortable. So if I don't wear a suit all the time, then when I do put one on, I'm going to be uncomfortable in it. So the thing is making yourself comfortable with what you're not comfortable with.
That's anything that you bring into, anything that you put in new, or you do new, you're not going to be comfortable with it. It's something that has to go on you, and it takes time to do.
Absolutely.
But it is important, fellas, let us tell you, please buy yourself a shoe, go out, check out Mr. Jamal's brand. Mr. Jamal, please tell us about your brand, apparel.
Sure. Boy Brand Apparel, we do style design, we do custom made clothing, we do made to measure, we do personal shopping for clients, men, women, and children. And the whole focus is, again, trying to help new clients. Yeah.
Where are you shopping for the women? Because I'm
all over the place. Check out my Facebook page. Go to www.facebook.com/Boy Brand Apparel, and there you'll see some of the suggestions and things that I posted on the page. A lot of it, folks are like, well, where can I go to click and buy? So now they click and buy service. It's a personal touch where I sit down with each client, identify your style, identify your brand, your colors, we do closet audits, we go through what you need, and start with what you have before you spend the dime, because it's all about building on the foundation of something and not having to start over from fresh. But that's a part of the whole service that my business provides. And then it's not just about the clothing, because again, refreshing something that you might have in your closet may be
Talk Show with Tiffany and Lisa and with our guest, Jamal Boyd. You gotta check him out, and if you can, make it happen to book this guy to get your whole wardrobe together. You wanna look professional if you're in that business. You wanna look suitable when you're going out. So check us out at www.verballyloose.com, and you can check Jamal Boyd at.
You can find me on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Boyd Brand Apparel. Or you can look me up on Twitter under The Executive One or Instagram as The Exec. It's all about business. You'll find everything that you need on one of those 3 outlets.
So tune in to our next episode, Sundays, 66 on Comcast, 29 Verizon, and I can't wait to our next show, which is the season finale. You don't want to miss this. Stay tuned.
The millionaire mindset. So don't forget that. I just want to leave my audience with that. Make sure you add that. That really sticks with me. I follow this man on Facebook.
Starts there first.
And yes, and that's like really what sticks out to me is that mindset, which is very important. So check us out, verballyloose.com. See y'all. Bye. And welcome back. We're so glad that you stayed tuned for this next segment, which is very dear to most of us, and it has a very awesome cause. Miss Lila Green from Hunks for Hope, and she also has a hunk here with us today. Okay, we're going to be talking a little bit today about her nonprofit organization, her mission, and exactly what it means, not necessarily means, but domestic violence. That's a very, and I get a little stuttery about it because growing up, I did experience domestic violence in the household. It wasn't the best of situations all the time, but it wasn't as frequently as some women may experience. And, maybe 8 out of 10 women probably experience some type of domestic violence somewhere in their lives. So, Miss Lila, please tell us about your mission, your Hunks for Hope, and what drove you to actually start this movement.
Okay, well, first of all, I have to say I am a jewelry designer, and my company, Caribbean Lilac, I've had a lot of success with it, what I call success, and I kind of wanted to give back, but I wanted to do something that, I wanted to support a group that was near and dear to my heart, you know what I'm saying? So I was a domestic violence victim for 4 years.
Okay.
It was a very bad relationship, tumultuous. It was scary. I mean, very scary. I was kidnapped. Wow. I was raped. I was beaten. Basically, just horrible, most horrible 4 years of my entire existence. But I was smart about it. Okay. And I realized that I'm going to die if I stay here. And is my life important enough to me to just back away from this? Like, it can't be love if he's abusing me the way that he is. And I'm never going to be happy. And I just wanted to be happy, ultimately. Yes. So I literally had to kind of like sneak out in the middle of the night. I moved out to Long Island, didn't tell anybody where I was going. And I stayed out there for a while, and I was able to escape, thank God, by the grace of God. Yes. And I just wanted to do something to help people, because I know that there's a lot of women that live in silence.
Silence, yes.
And it's important that you speak up. It's important that you ask for help. Don't ever feel like you're alone, because there are people who want to help you. And I think a lot of women get this thing where they feel like it's their fault. It's never your fault. Mm-hmm. It can't possibly be.
Or they're ashamed.
Or they're ashamed to let people know.
A lot of women are ashamed to actually have gone through something like that. So I think that causes the silence.
Right.
I don't want to say nothing, because if I tell someone, so that kind of makes it kind of harder is when the shame part comes in, and then it's like it gets to think with your self-esteem, like you know, your esteem is like it's just broken up, and it's so sad because you know you don't have to go through that. You know, like you said, you have to make a choice. Do I want to continue to do this, or is this something I need to walk away from to be a happier me?
Right, and that was actually my next question. Psychologically, how were you able to adapt after the fact when you finally moved on?
For me, it was a little bit hard. I had my moments when I was alone. And I had self-esteem issues. And a lot of women who are abused do suffer from self-esteem issues. And I felt very alone. Oh, you know, I didn't have a boyfriend anymore. Like, what would people think, or whatever the case may be. The mentality was off.
Okay.
And I think there was even one time where I was about to call him. Like, I was at the point where I was just like, I miss him so much. Like that wasn't right.
That
you know, I had to catch myself.
Cases, even if you're not in a physical abuse status, it's just the thought of I'm gonna be alone. You know, he might be some kind of help somewhere, so it's like I'm gonna have to do that by myself. And a lot of people really have that mentality of I can't do it by myself.
So basically, what I had to do was just accept the fact that there was something wrong here, and there was something that I needed to change inside of me in order to be able to not have to go through that again. And I started reading a lot of self-help books. And I started to not necessarily go back to church, because I was raised Muslim, but I had stopped practicing for like a little while. And I really needed to make that connection again. So I started reading the self-help books. I started turning to the Bible, to the Quran. I started reading a lot of things. And eventually I found that you need to love yourself. Everyone needs to accept their flaws, whatever they think are flaws, or whatever society says is flaws. Accept those things about you. And I had to accept the fact that it's okay to be alone. It's okay not to have a boyfriend. Because I need to be at 100% or close to 100% or 80% or 70% at least to have somebody come into my life and want to be there. You know what I'm saying?
And it's about the positive outcome of what you actually went through. It's not keeping it in a negative state and saying, I'm still going to feel sorry for myself. I'm still going to go through this. No. Don't feel sorry for yourself. Don't put yourself through this. Don't go through this. Stand up and be happy. Be a woman. Be proud of who you are. Be proud of what you represent. Because a lot of times women don't do that. It's always a pity story. And, you know, we're not a pity. You know, we are self-righteous. We're mothers. We're sisters. You know, we're important in this world as well. So I think once people start gravitating to that, and you know what, it is not necessarily all that, because I must say women have been doing their thing. You know, women has come a long way. You know, viewers, y'all can't see it, but we have an all-women camera crew in here today, okay? Big ups to the women. We're actually doing our thing, and I must say we must keep each other encouraged and keep moving in that positive line. And I just, you know, when I hear stories like this, it just moves something in me because it's just like you came out of that.
When you were talking, by me just seeing you not knowing your story, because honestly, I didn't think you were a victim. That's how strong you came off. So I'm like, when you said what you said, I instantly was like, oh my God. And my eyes watered up. Like, you can't believe it to see how strong you are, and you can get by and go on and start a business.
But I just wanted to go a little bit. Please check out, you know, her calendar, Hunks for Hope, with the 4. hunksforhope.com, and make sure you donate. Proceeds of it goes to domestic violence victims. And also your calendar. When is your calendar?
Our calendar is due to be released October 2013. It's a 2014 calendar.
Make sure you please stay tuned and check us out. Verballyloose.com. We have all of our information from our guests today, and be sure to support the Verbally Loose brand as well as Hunks for Hope. That's 4 to 4. Don't forget the 4. hunksforhope.com. Okay. Thank you, you guys. Have a good night. See you later. Bye.